Yes.
How to go over it? I heard there was some new footage shown. And...
Yeah, some release dates, some updates, some little exciters, I would say. So yeah, I think it went pretty well.
Pretty well. Reaction was pretty good.
Yeah. Everyone. It seemed like everyone enjoyed it, and from what I've seen briefly of the internet response, it seems like everyone's excited.
Very cool.
Oh, I mean, I'm the creator, so I'm kind of a part of all of them. There's definitely a bit of me in all of them. I would say the most probably at this point is Charlie. I feel like I put a lot of personality for myself into Charlie, especially in season 2. I think that the arc that Charlie goes into in season 2 without giving too much away really mirrors my own experience being a female creator on the internet. Obviously a very different context, but just having to kind of constantly feel defensive and have to justify yourself. I think that there was a determination and a stubbornness and a resilience that I put into her, and specifically season 2 and its plot with Vox that came from a very real place. But I feel like all the characters have like a little bit of me in them. Vaggie also originally was a character that I very heavily related to, just as a character that is very ride or die for people, but also like kind of has a temper that can kind of get a little out of control and just So I feel like those two lead characters have like a lot of DNA of my personality in them, which I think makes them easy to write.
Do you feel vulnerable?
Sometimes. I mean, obviously, like I feel like I have a pretty decent job of like separating like fully myself from a character. Like none of the characters are fully me. It's more like experiences. Like another one is that I've spoken about at cons is in Helluva Boss. In season 3, Millie has a big storyline that I put directly from my life, like in terms of like an experience with someone or someone's. Like it's not based on one particular experience, but kind of like a lot of different experiences that I've had with certain kinds of people. And so I gave her this storyline that really resonated with me. But like Millie's nothing like me as a character, and so I feel like that's kind of like the kinds of things I put into the characters. There's like real lived experiences and real feelings and emotions. Like some of it also is like with Via, put a real like the Lululand episode was very inspired by a real experience I had with my father. And obviously it was not one-to-one, and Solus is nothing like my dad. But it's one of those things where I try. I think the realness of experience is what makes characters feel as alive as they are. But what I also feel is very vital is keeping characters and keeping them fictional and keeping them separate from myself. So that's why there's a little bit of me in every character, and some have more experiences of me, some have more personality traits of me, some have aspirations of me, but all of them ultimately are their own identities. Yeah, I think that episode was very important to me because even though the show is a raunchy comedy and a workplace, it really is about Blitz and it's about the relationships and about the characters. And so that episode was the first one where obviously we explored Stolas, who's like kind of the really, really important character in Blitz's story. And I really wanted it to be more real and be more emotional, and the show was going to be about that as well. And that was going to be an important part of it. And as the show goes on, it leans more and more into the more emotional side of its story. And so, that was very important to me to like have as early on as it was. And the song was one that obviously I just wanted it to be a really nice lullaby to a daughter. And Sam Hack really went all out and made it this gorgeous song. And I know he wrote it from a place of like almost writing it to his children. So it came from a very real place as well. And I think that's what resonated. So far, no. So far, I don't think anything I put in is so me that there's not a character anymore, and it's like too me. So thankfully, not yet. But for the editing and stuff, so far I'm kind of the lead editor on the show. So I do the radio play, I do the initial animatic edit, and so I feel like I'm pretty good at getting the vision there, and then from there though I take a step back and let other people take it, whether it be the board director or the animation director or the art director. I kind of just let someone else like helm from there, and then I just kind of chisel when I need to.
Do they?
That's a good question. It's definitely something that we potentially will explore, so I can't like definitively answer. But I think that's what kind of makes the stakes so high, is that there is like essentially a second death in the show. I kind of the closest thing I can reference, even though it's not what I got it from, and I'm sure it's existed in other media, but just like a poker, it's like you can just cease to exist. And I feel like that that reality is very it's very scary to me, and I feel like in some ways it's even scarier than people dying. Like, that's why in Helluva Boss we treat that so trivially, because in this universe we know that they'll end up in either heaven or hell. So we don't feel as bad when people die from the imps. At least I don't. But I think that in Hazbin and in Helluva, when people die, there's, even if we do it in a comedic way, there's a much more dark tone to that because it's a little bit more finite. So yeah. It's crazy. I mean, it's cool to me because I'm kind of, I feel like I'm a person. I have ADHD. I have kind of a constantly moving brain and imagination. I've been telling stories since I was a kid. I would just ramble off stories to my grandparents and my family. And so I feel like, and I had a webcomic where I was just constantly adding stories in and creating new characters and more and more. And so I feel like it's very, like creating a universe feels just very full circle to me. Like it feels like the realization of what I've been doing my whole life. And it's really meaningful to me to have people not only love this universe, but love, this universe as much as I do. Like it feels like the passion and the love and the fandom is so palpable, and like I'm as big a fan of the show as I am like the creator of it. And so obviously I'm always holding myself to like tell the best story I can. But like, I think I always am like, oh, the fans are gonna enjoy this because I enjoy this, like I'm at my truest heart, I love romance and I love character dynamics and relationships, and I know that's a huge part of fandom. And so I'm like, oh, I know people are gonna love this because every character dynamic is in a way explored and fun, and some of them get very juicy and meaty, which is also fun.
So
I didn't know, but I feel like the DNA of me, like I've just been part of fandom. I know what the feelings are, and so I feel like when it did, it was probably just because me as somebody who grew up in fandom was like, I want to make a show that like has those things that we only have in fandom. The show never gives us, the show never gives us queer relationships. The show never gives us stories that kind of like start as comedy but get deeper, and you know what I mean, and a lot of the shows that I loved that were huge influences, they were very surface level comedies. So I think being able to like tell an actual story really also resonates with people. That's a really good question, and it's absolutely something I thought about, and I know exactly what I would do. And I guess the safest answer is I feel like we've explored heaven and hell, which is the classic, Lucifer and the angels and the Adam and Eve story and things like that. That's what Hazbin is. And then Helluva Boss was the way to explore the Hellborn side. What do imps look like? What do hellhounds look like? What are the 7 deadly sins? So it's exploring like the hell society and the hellborn society. And so we've got kind of the 2 big parallels in hell. And so to me, the most natural part of this universe that we haven't fully explored is the earth side, and dealing with things like the inner demons or possession or like things that affect humanity, and I feel like to me that's like the side of the universe we haven't explored, and I would love to tell a story there. So we'll see what happens.